Welcome to the eighth episode of United Talk, everybody. We're so sorry that we haven't been releasing any new episodes, but we are away for the holidays. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys. And let's get started off with the Liverpool game. Your thoughts, Annie?
Hey guys, Happy New Year. Well, the Liverpool game, obviously a massive game for United every season. Beat them 2-1 at Anfield earlier on and come back to Old Trafford for the return match. And I thought it was a game of two halves. Liverpool grew into it in the second half, and they'll claim they were unlucky towards the end to not get a point. But I thought Fergie, with the substitutions, made sure that we closed the game out well in the end. That's been a problem for us lately. But he threw on Jones for Kagawa to show up the midfield, and then it was forced off an injury, so Smalling came on. But I think, most importantly, you can say that the game once again has been decided by a touch of genius from that man, RVP. First goal, great build-up play from United. I thought passing was very crisp.
Yeah, super build-up play.
Yeah, very crisp passing, and then we play the ball out wide. Evra fizzes it in, and RVP with perfect technique to keep the ball low, send the ball in fast. It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
What did you make of it?
I loved it to bits. Well, the first half at least, I thought United were clicking, going on all cylinders. The team selection was full of, energetic players, and it wasn't like Ferguson was looking for, anything less than a win.
Yeah.
Ferguson knows how important these derby games are, especially against Liverpool, as we've seen so often in the past. And I was really impressed with his team selection, although I was a bit confused that he didn't start Valencia, instead opting for Young on the right.
Yeah, I think Valencia has been off form lately. I have to say he's not been having a last 1 month. He's not really been firing on all cylinders, and actually Young has actually been having some good games.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's been having good games on the left. I thought on the right he was pretty ineffective this time
Yeah, I think Glenn Johnson had his number, but I was more surprised by the selection of Danny Welbeck.
Well, I was watching it on Sky Sports, and I overheard Gary Neville saying that one of the reasons why Welbeck was chosen over Hernandez was that Hernandez is a very one-dimensional player. He's a stereotypical goal scorer. He's a poacher.
Yeah.
So the thing about Hernandez is he won't be contributing, in build-up play.
Yeah.
And Danny Welbeck, as limited as he is on the technical side of the game, is still very energetic. He's fast, he's strong, and he can jump.
Yeah.
So arguably he gives United more in terms of options.
That's true. I think, Gary Neville gave him man of the match, which I was amazed by, because I actually thought Danny Welbeck. I thought he had a very poor game. He made some good runs, got into good positions, but as is usual for him, his decision-making was off. He held on to the ball for too long before releasing it. He lacked balance. He kept falling over. I don't know whether he has issues with his footwear or what is the problem. But I was disappointed with Welbeck because he had a chance today with Rooney's absence, but he didn't seem to take it.
To really stake his place in the squad, yes.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, a game of two halves, and I thought Liverpool, with the introduction of Sturridge, really got going after that.
Yeah.
And Luis Suarez had been very quiet in the first half, but really came to life in the second, constantly asking for the ball, driving at the defense.
Yeah, he was constantly probing, but I think a lot of credit to our defense for shackling him.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I think after United scored the second goal, I was expecting a rout. I was going for maybe 4-0, but then Liverpool immediately responded back.
Yeah.
And the last 20-25 minutes I thought were quite nervy for me watching.
And Sturridge had a great chance about his right foot, and he's...
just blew it over. I really expected him to score there.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, but what about your top three players of the game?
Tough choice, really. You'd expect to give it to RVP, and I would love to, but I thought three other players played much better than RVP.
Yeah.
If this was the top four, I'd give RVP a spot as well. But I loved Patrice Evra today.
Yeah.
Barely put a foot wrong.
Absolutely.
Really shackled whoever was on the left. Or on the right.
Yeah.
Whether it was Stuart Downing or Wisdom pushing up.
Yeah.
It was Patrice Evra just taking them on and beating them. And plus, he was essential in the second goal, which I thought was unlucky that was not given to him.
Absolutely.
As Vidic got the faintest of touches. And for my other two players, I'll have to give to Carrick and Cleverley, the midfield pair. I thought Carrick had a great game.
Yeah.
Broke up attack after attack and some good passing there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed watching him play. I think he's become an integral part of this team.
Yeah.
And your top three, Annie?
Well, I'll have to agree with you on the choice of Carrick. I thought, Carrick and Cleverley seems to be now our first choice central pairing for big games. Yep. And I was very impressed with Carrick. All his passes, especially in the first half, were all forward. He was always looking to play the ball out wide, play the ball, play people in. One of his passes to Rafael in particular, which led to the RVP chance towards the end of the first half, was a brilliant pass. And I was very impressed with him. Defensively as well, he seemed to have a good work rate. Also, I think Nemanja Vidic, our captain, got a very fortunate goal, but apart from that, at the back, I thought he was solid. He's coming back after a long time for such a big game.
Yep.
You know, it's difficult, but he adjusted quite well, and he had the handle of Suarez. And lastly, that man RVP, as I said, such a genius for the goal, and he just keeps performing in these big games.
Indeed, RVP, arguably United's biggest player right now.
Absolutely.
Barclays cleared the month for December, and the way he's going, would be surprised if he won it in January as well.
True. Talking about the rest of the league, I mean, what did you make of Chelsea? They're winning comfortably 4-0 at Stoke. Pretty impressive result.
Impressive is one way of putting it. Chelsea profited from a little bit of, really shocking stuff from Jonathan Walters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll be mentioning more later in the show.
Yeah, he had a day to
2
forget.
2 goals, and then missing that penalty.
Yeah.
But, of course, Frank Lampard scoring another goal. I'd be really surprised if Chelsea let him go. I think they're making a big, big mistake. Absolutely. And I think whoever snaps him up will be lucky enough to get him.
He's been a great servant for the club, and, almost 200 goals now for Chelsea. That's incredible.
And that's really not the way you repay your servants. I mean, Can you imagine if you let Paul Scholes go like that?
Yeah.
Just disgraceful stuff. But Chelsea winning comfortably in the end, and now they're in third place with the game in hand. And I think, 1 point ahead of Spurs?
Yeah.
Well, good job, Chelsea, but you're too far behind, fellas.
Well, I hope so. I hope it stays that way. But I was quite impressed with Eden Hazard. I thought, towards the in the first few weeks of the season, he was really lighting the league up.
Electric,
and he was probably the best player they had. But then he sort of died away. But he came back, and the game against Stoke, I thought he was Chelsea's best player. Juan Mata again proving decisive. He didn't have a great game, but again 2 assists, and that's what good players do. They always are decisive. And well, I mean, what about the Arsenal versus Man City game? It just happened an hour back. What did you make of that?
Wow, I mean, I was watching it and my mind was blown in the first 10 minutes. End-to-end stuff for the first 10 minutes, and then Koscielny goes and does what defenders should never ever do. Tries to hug Dzeko and then pulls him down in the box.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Laurent, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Straight red from Mike Dean. Up steps up Dzeko for the penalty. Dreadful penalty. Hit low down the center.
Yeah.
Hits Szczesny's leg, hits the post, and then bounces back off to Szczesny.
Yeah.
0-0. Unfortunately, Arsenal with 10 men, nowhere near the team that they needed to even stand a chance against Man City.
Yeah.
City had attack after attack after attack, and they eventually scored when James Milner lashed it home.
Yeah.
And they followed it up quickly with another goal inside 5 minutes, and Dzeko finally getting a goal after missing that penalty.
Yeah.
And then it was, I wouldn't say smooth sailing. Arsenal did have their chances, especially down the right with Bakary Sagna pushing up.
Yeah.
But I think City were going comfortably until Vincent Kompany got sent off with about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Shocking challenge, really. 2 feet on Jack Wilshere. That's a straight red.
So, because I actually thought the first red card was quite harsh. So, I don't know what to make of it. In the second.
It's difficult to say whether it was harsh or not. On one hand, it was a last man challenge. It was inside the box, and plus it wasn't even a challenge so much as just as a rugby tackle.
Yeah.
Really. But on the other hand, it wasn't like Dzeko had a clear scoring chance when the ball was put in the box.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say, and in the end, it comes down to what the referee thinks. Mr. Dean decided to give the card.
But the second one was a definite red in your opinion.
Yeah, definite red. 2 feet, Kompany, and that's just
should know better. He should know better.
I mean, he's the captain of the team. He's the leader of men.
Absolutely.
And that's not how you behave, especially in such a crunch game against Arsenal.
But I would say, talk from Man City's point of view, comfortable 3 points, and they'll be quite happy with that result, keeping not letting us get too far ahead, because we were 10 points ahead after winning against Liverpool. So
yeah. In the end, really comfortable game for Man City. I think by the time Kompany got sent off, it was too late.
Yeah.
And the Arsenal players were tired, and as much as Theo Walcott was all over the place, Olivier Giroud came on and did well.
Yeah.
But by that point of time, Man City already wrapped up the game, and 2-0 win for them.
Yeah. And most entertaining game of the weekend, Reading versus West Brom. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, changing the tide of that match. What did you make of that?
Well, I really enjoyed that game. I think Reading have been very unfortunate this season. I mean, the squad that they have, plus I really admire their manager, Brian McDermott.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid manager, and the way he led Reading to the Premier League was nothing short of spectacular. And it's been unfortunate that Reading have been at the bottom of the table until this game, where they were 2-0 down until the 82nd minute, and then they did a Manchester United. Pulled 3 goals out of nothing. Jimmy Kebe, their captain, scoring, and then Adam Lafondre lashing in a penalty, and then Pogrebniak, the Russian striker, rounding it up. I think West Brom was shell-shocked after the second goal. Didn't know what was going on.
I mean, I have to say for West Brom, they're just not the team that they used to be in the first few weeks of the season. I don't know. I mean, it does happen with teams, in the first few weeks of the season, they'll be playing really well, and you see them in an unrealistic third place or second place, and they fall away. But West Brom's fall has actually been quite shocking. And
as you see, that's the difference between good teams and great teams.
Yeah.
Great teams hold on for an entire season. It's 38 games, not 10 games, not 15 games. It's 38 games on the whole season. And I still think West Brom are doing extremely well for a club of that stature. I think the highs that they achieved when they reached third place or fourth place was, everyone knew it was like a honeymoon phase. They wouldn't actually finish in a Champions League place. That was highly unlikely.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
But, in this game, West Brom were dominating, I think, for the first 80 minutes. Lukaku has scored twice, and Lukaku has been brilliant at West Brom, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's really been
he's really enjoying himself there. And, Andres Villas-Boas never rated him, and he didn't want to use him. He's not part of his plans. But I think Chelsea have a real find on their hands if they can get him back and get him playing.
Oh, definitely. I remember watching Lukaku first during his Anderlecht days, and I thought this guy was the second coming of Didier Drogba.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fast, strong, lethal, great in the air.
Yeah.
He was incredible, but I think I was really disappointed to see his progress just stifled at Chelsea, but he's really shining at West Brom, and good job, Romelu.
Yep.
Okay, and now we move on to the rest of Europe, and guess who won the Ballon d'Or, Annie?
Was it that diminutive Argentinian again?
I forget. Oh, no, wait, it was, again.
4 times now. That's a record, isn't it? The most number of times.
Yeah, that's a record. Yep. I think Ronaldo and Zidane won it thrice each, and Platini as well back in the 80s, but Messi surpassed them all in terms of golden winner.
Well, I have to say one thing from the whole ceremony and all of the event and everything. One thing that really stood out for me was Lionel Messi's polka-dotted suit. I don't care if you're the best player ever. I don't care if you're the best player right now. You do not wear that. With a matching tie, you do not wear that. I'm sorry, Lionel, you've got it wrong. Please
Amen,
designer. But fair play to him, 91 goals in 69 matches. He's clearly doing his talking on the football field.
Yeah, there's really no competing that. I think, but the Ballon d'Or is an individual award for individual performances, and it's Messi all the way. There wasn't even anyone close to that.
Yeah, well said.
And, despite Ronaldo had so many cases to make, winning the La Liga and all that, scoring 64 goals, which in itself is incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, I think Ronaldo's unlucky to be playing in the same era as Messi.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And also something that I've noticed in the whole Ronaldo versus Messi debate is that what is interesting is no one ever talks about Ronaldo possibly being the greatest ever player. People do that about Messi, though. And I think that's something that Ronaldo, he probably hates the fact that he's playing in the same generation as Messi. But I think it also makes him a better player. He's pushing himself to higher and higher standards because of Messi.
That's true, and if you look at it, Ronaldo's really captured his true form and true potential at Real Madrid when playing in the same league against Messi.
Absolutely. But I have to say about the World 11 that was picked, where was Robin Van Persie, where was Andrea Pirlo, all La Liga
I was so shocked that there wasn't a single Juventus player in that team. I mean, that's incredible. You had a team that went unbeaten for a whole season.
Absolutely.
Was that 47, 48 games?
Yep, 48 games.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And not to have a single player in there, I mean, that's just shocking.
Yeah, it's clear.
And to have Gerard Piqué in there. Gerard Piqué spent more time with Shakira than he did on the pitch. So
absolutely, yeah. I think that's the problem with some of these awards and these ceremonies. The way they count the votes, the people who are voting. Like I saw some people who actually, the Saudi Arabian captain, for example, he put Balotelli as his number 3 in his top 3, and ahead of Ronaldo. So I don't understand how you can put Mario Balotelli ahead of Ronaldo in the last year.
I think many of these players mostly voted on, who are the most famous players with the highest reputations.
Yeah, true.
And not actually sitting and looking through hours of footage and analyzing who were the best 11 players. I mean, who has time to do that?
Yeah, true.
Except us, that is.
But I mean, talking about La Liga and everything, Real Madrid struggling in their league. Yet again, dropping points last night, 0-0 draw with Osasuna. One shot on target in the entire match, and no Ronaldo, he was missing. What did you make of that game?
Wow. I mean, I generally thought that Real Madrid win the La Liga last season was the start of, a revolution.
Yeah.
The start of just anti-tiki-taka football, where you had Real Madrid who were fast and powerful.
Yeah, and direct.
In the air, just like dominating teams with their physicality and yet having a technical side to their play.
Yeah.
But this Real Madrid team, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, they are in disarray.
Yeah.
They're already so far behind Barcelona, they're basically like a dot to them.
Yeah.
You can't see that team. Ronaldo's keeping them, trying to keep them in, but,
Yeah, and Kaká as well, the fall from grace. I mean, he came on a second-half substitute yesterday, got red carded within 7 minutes. Very disappointing how...
Do you remember how much you signed him for, Annie? Was it 59 million pounds?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
59 million pounds.
And
so that you talk about a fall from grace.
Yeah, and I mean they've had some struggling with their signings. Luka Modric has had a really bad season, and he might be wanting to come back to the Premier League now.
Yeah, I don't really understand what's going on with Real Madrid, because if you look at the squad that they have, you look at the manager that they have, you look at the superstars that they have.
Yeah.
On paper, this is a team that can challenge for every major title.
Yeah.
And, as of now, I think the only realistic title they can look forward to is the Copa del Rey. Because I know United are going to beat them in the Champions League.
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, indeed.
Lastly, what are you making of the transfer window? Obviously, in January, it's a lot of wheelings and dealings going on.
Well, I think we're at the halfway point of the transfer window, and, Newcastle United very active.
Definitely.
They shopped off Demba Ba to Chelsea for, what was it, 7.5 million?
Yeah.
8 million?
Yeah.
And they signed French international right back Mathieu Debuchy from Lille, where he was the captain, by the way.
Yeah, and that was something that was meant to happen over the summer, but then it didn't, and it's finally happened now. And
yeah, I think I have no idea how Newcastle United are as low as they are. I mean, I understand they've had injuries with Kabay out and
Ben Arfa has been injured as well. So
Ben Arfa, yes. But, they do not deserve to be anywhere near there.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, they are a weak club in the northeast.
Oh, yes. Wait, hang on. Remind me again who said that? some punter from Scotland, right?
Yeah, but he did make up for it later. But yeah, I see your point about Newcastle. They're definitely underperforming. Second season syndrome once again, perhaps. That's something that seems to be affecting teams all over the place. But
second season syndrome. We should patent that phrase. We use it all the time on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they've now signed a new striker as well, Remy.
Loic Remy, yeah, I think that's a bit of a gamble from Alan Pardew. On one hand, Remy is very, very fast, and he's great in the air as well.
Yeah.
So, theoretically speaking, he should be a brilliant striker.
Yeah.
But he's been very inconsistent in La Liga. Yeah. In League One. He's only scored twice this season. And, he's very injury prone.
Yeah, true. No, I was reading an interesting stat the other day, actually, that Newcastle play the most number of long balls in the league per game. So they are quite a long ball team. So maybe Remy would work out for them.
Maybe Remy would really work out, because I can see him. I can see Cisse making runs off him, or Remy making runs off Cisse, because they're both pretty good in the air.
Yeah, true.
And I think this could potentially turn Newcastle's season around.
Yeah.
Well then, moving on to our player salute, Annie, would you like to do the honor?
Absolutely. We all feel really bad for Jonathan Walters. If you think your day is going bad, think about kicking the ball in your own face, scoring 2 own goals, and then missing a penalty. So, Jonathan, get back on your feet, mate. You can do much better than that. And I'm sure he will, actually. He's had a good season so far.
He's had a great season, I think, John Walters, playing for Stoke. And Stoke, in general, have been very impressive, as usual, this season.
Yeah, they always getting the job done. Not pretty, but effective. And hopefully no more days like that.
I hope so, because he had a nightmare showing.
Absolutely, a day to forget, but we all have those sometimes. Well, predictions for the West Ham game in midweek, the FA Cup replay at Old Trafford?
Well, I think we were very lucky to actually get the replay in the first place. RVP bailing us out again.
Yep.
But home game, I'd go for a 2-0, regardless of who Ferguson puts out, which team. I'd go for
I'm hoping I'm hoping he plays Rooney, because Rooney's supposed to be fit again for that game, so get some game time. And yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Comfortable home win, hopefully, and to the next round.
2-0, fine, yeah.
Yep. Lastly, bit of promotion, guys, as usual. Cheers for watching our videos. Sorry again that we were away over the holidays. We're going to do one video after every United match now, so keep watching. Get involved on Twitter, United Talk, and Facebook as well. And subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Thanks.
Alright, guys, thank you.